All right, everyone. God bless you wherever you are tuning in across the world. That's right. You're viewing and listening to another exciting show of Senior Talk with Clara Hubbard, your resource and information show for people getting better with age. This show is also powered by our new media company, Senior Talk Media. Woo! We made it. So let me tell you, we have a phenomenal show. Woo! Let me tell you, one of my great community sponsors and partners is none other than CISCRP, Aware for All. We've covered a lot of ground over the last year and some months, and we're here today because we have another impactful show. So let me tell everybody, CISCRP, Aware for All, their next, which is third of a 5-part series, let's be very clear, they do it big, is going to take place on July 22nd, which is next week. So everyone, do yourself a favor, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Minnesota, and Michigan. Please tune in and go to awareforall.org, get registered, and get this information. Well, joining me today is Phyllis Kaplan, who is actually, let me tell you, I wish I could check her shoes because she's known me on roller skates. These ladies, her and Joan Chambers are busy. And then we have the honor of having none other than Miss Diva herself, Miss Lynn Jordan, with us today. So we're gonna make it a gumbo of a show. Let me tell you, it's gonna be fulfilling. But we're also going to touch on a very important topic that we are still living through, and that is the impact of COVID-19. Some people, unfortunately, did not make it. We are now living in the vaccination season of this pandemic. And there's still some hesitation. There's still some forms of, I don't know, maybe I should. I got sick the first time. I don't want the second shot. Well, we're going to get to the in-depth part of clinical trials. And as we know, clinical trials is a big umbrella of how we manage our health system. If we don't have trials, we don't know what to do. So trials are very, very important. But I'm going to do this. To lead off, we're going to have Ms. Phyllis Kaplan just give her comments after this quick commercial break from our friends from CISCRP. Everyone stay tuned.
Most people don't understand what clinical research is about. Some people are afraid, or they've heard stories about clinical trials that have gone wrong when there were no protections in place for clinical research volunteers. That's why CISCRP and the organizations involved in this program believe in education before participation. I'd also like to welcome you to the Aware for All Clinical Research Education event. We think the more people understand about the clinical research process, the more they'll appreciate those who volunteer to participate in clinical research.
All right, so Phyllis Kaplan, welcome back to Senior Talk once again. Introduce yourself to our new viewers and then just bring them up to date on your title and what we're anticipating for July 22nd.
Okay, so I'm Phyllis Kaplan. I'm the Senior Manager of Events and Community Engagement here at CISCRP. I also live with type 1 diabetes, have participated in 4 clinical trials myself. So I'm well versed in what it actually feels like to be in a clinical trial. But our program really aims to educate everybody on what's involved in a clinical trial, who's involved, the safeguards in place. We know that there's a lot of mistrust across multiple communities, but really taking the time to explain all of that so people really are educated before they even decide to participate in a trial. And our program on July 22nd has 2 main features. We have a webinar, which includes a panel discussion, And we also have an informational exhibit center, basically a virtual health fair that has over 40 exhibitors across the Midwest. And we also have some more national organizations as well. So it's really a one-stop shop to get all kinds of information about health, wellness, along with clinical trial information.
Well, let me say, I can only just hug you all virtually because I know the impact and the work that you put into it. It's not an easy task.
Nope.
And that we're getting vaccinated. We're feeling a little bit okay about, but some people like myself, I'm still going to wear a mask because now it's a fashion statement as well. How about that? But I want to know, what is your, in planning, what is the difference in planning last year and now leading into now the vaccination process? What is the difference in planning? Have you made any different structures in how you're going to present the conference?
Not really. Last year we were focused on one specific city. And this year we decided, well, since we're virtual, let's go big, and decided to go for a regional a regional approach. So to draw in more people, more organizations, and again, really to provide the public with as much information as possible. And then we will be going live or in person for our last event of the year in November. So we are, hoping everybody is vaccinated and taking precaution, but we will be going in person in November.
And I already know it. I plan to be there myself. Honest to God, the whole station. Right. I plan to be there.
To Atlanta.
That's right, Atlanta. We're going to be there, and it's very good because, not unfortunately, but we are so personable people. And when we give this kind of service, because you want to have contact and interaction with people. So I know how difficult it could have been, but you've made all the steps. And what we tell people, please remember, Aware for All, even the conferences from last year are still there.
Yes.
So if we don't lose the content, it is still there. So I had the pleasure of meeting virtually through some friends, Miss Lynn Jordan. Let me tell you, I'm excited for her. I'm excited for me and everyone. So if I can, Lynn, let me give you a brief intro on the way I would do it for you, okay?
Oh, please.
Come on, stand by, everyone. We'll be right back with Ms. Lynn Jordan right after this brief intro of who she is and the great work that she does. Stand by, babe. Stand by.
I've always heard that haste makes waste, so I believe in taking my time. The highest mountain can't be raced. It's something you must slowly climb. I want a slow and easy man. He need never take the lead. 'Cause I work on that long-term plan, and I ain't looking for no speed. I'm a 1-hour mama, no 1-minute papa. Ain't the kind of man for me.
All right. What an intro.
That was a surprise. I'm like, what is she going to do?
She is a vocal extraordinaire. Let me tell you, how did Carnegie Hall get? Did we get there? I've been doing my research. You said that you were auditioning, I think, once for Carnegie Hall.
Oh, wait, where are you finding all this? I did actually. That was, you saw my self-tape, I think.
Yeah, I do research. But everyone, let me say, we want to welcome Lynn Jordan to our program. Highly, highly regarded in the music industry. You heard her vocals, so we're going to share how you can find her, because she got a performance schedule that you can attend, some of her live performances. Yeah. But Miss Jordan, welcome again to Senior Talk. As I mentioned, our friends at Great Lakes Clinical Trial, they said, hey, book Lynn, and then take her in the community with you. So, Miss Jordan, how do you want to address your participation in the clinical trial? just bring it to us how you'd want to share your thoughts at this time.
Well, when I was first approached about being a participant, I was excited because I have a friend who actually runs the facility. So I was in a different position than most. I totally trust him. So I just basically threw out any back noise in my head about, Tuskegee firemen and all that stuff. And then I was asked to reach out to people in my immediate community, which were musicians who all happen to be around my age, because I'm turning 60, oh Lord, on Sunday.
Come on through, girl, come on through. Yeah.
And all my musicians were all around the same age. We've been playing together for like close to 25 years, my band, and plus all the people I network, in the musician pool of people. So I'm thinking, no problem, And what I encountered was complete and total resistance.
Yeah.
No one wanted, not even with the financial incentives, because they pay you, and it was amazing to me. I couldn't believe it, because these are people I knew, and I was just like, what's the problem? They just didn't want to do it. Did not want to be involved in the trial. And I kind of looked at the trial like a chance to be I always feel like it sounds so mushy, but it was a chance to be a part of history, a chance to participate in something that impacted, my people so much, Yeah. We all know the numbers of Black people, and especially older Black folks and people with hypertension and diabetes and obesity, all of which I have. First time it was ever a plus for me, because I was, so what they were looking for. But I just felt if I could make an impact by just being a participant, why not?
Yes.
And and it really was. I thought this is something we're going to look back on. And I had a little teeny tiny part of the solution.
Yes. Yeah. I believe that. And here's the thing, and I should have started with this because I do it all the time when we're talking about this particular topic, is that when COVID started, we ignored our other disparities.
Yeah.
We put them on the shelf and we were just trying to get to the next day. So our current disparities still are in place. And so some people, i.e. myself, I was just trying to get through the next day, make sure my breathing was okay, and that I was eating and building up my immune. I didn't even think about, I was almost hypertension, but I started doing more activity to reduce my hypertension. But let's be clear, even in the older population, it was very scarce. I had to do the fight with people calling me because, I can't go see my loved one. I'm like, there are things in place for us to administer to so that everyone can be safe. Nobody, we were just all going off of, they are taking me away from my loved ones. All that kind of stuff came into play. So it being a participant in the trial, what is that procedure like? Because some people may say, I may want to participate in a trial, but they don't know, what the procedure is, what time is involved. Can you share a little bit of what that has been for you?
Sure. I had a completely positive experience. In fact, I thought, are they all like this? What is going on? This is like a party, Right. Well, first, you get connected, however that is. Like I said, I had a personal connection. Then you show up to the facility, and the way they had it set up, we were in a small, very small groups. I think there were 3 or 4 of us, maybe total in my little group. We sat in a very nice room, beautiful facility, modern, and sat at a big table, and we were given a lot of paperwork, a lot of questionnaires, which, though it was kind of it wasn't that bad, because I don't mind. I'm used to filling out stuff, but it was fine. Yes, no, it was all yes, no. It wasn't essay questions. It was just, and then they had a woman there who was just answering our questions. And I think that point of contact, she was so good, and she was so she was a real straight shooter. So no matter how you're evil, you're not evil, but how pointed your question was, she answered it, and you felt assured. So basically you filled out the application. There were all kinds of authorizations you had to give, blah, 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 like, like with any procedure.
Sure.
So, but that didn't scare me because once again, I've had to do that when I go to the doctor, or to the hospital.
Right.
And then from there, we were given an injection, which they told us it was a blind study. So placebo versus the vaccine. And you do not know which one you get because it's blind. And then you got that and a lollipop and you're out. You even got a goodie bag.
Wow. Wow.
You got a bag with all, and that was it. But I mean, then there's follow-up, of course. You have to keep going back, but it was, I'm sorry.
No, go. You're right. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying it was painless. The injection, I have osteoarthritis in my knees, so I'm used to getting injections in strange places. So one in my shoulder was no issue for me, and it was easy. I mean, I know other trials are different, but for the vaccine, that was all it was, showing up, and you're just kind of led around. You don't have to figure out anything or wonder what it is. They pretty much lead you through it.
So here's a question. Knowing that you are in an industry that is totally interactive, are you now seeing that your counterparts or your colleagues are now considering the vaccination?
Well, in my particular group, because I do some of private events, and a lot of the clients, the buyers, have insisted, that they want people vaccinated. So my band they're all good, but I had a couple people who were resisting. I mean, somebody actually said the quote, "mark of the beast," which I was just like, oh Lord, help me. I don't know what he was talking about, but I was like, but wait, isn't that scar on your other shoulder that you got when you were 5? Is that what you mean by mark of the beast? Because there is nothing, just crazy stuff, resistance. Yeah. And most people have gotten it, but I still come across people, not in my band, because I was really cursing them out and calling them all kinds of silly names. You're a fool. What are you talking about? I'm alive. I'm on a blind study. Guess what? I'm still here, Yeah. There are still people that are resistant. Yeah. And I don't know why. I mean, I know what they say, but.
Well, I'm like you. Even in going to bring in my show, I do a show called Live and Learn, where we go to seniors and we do like a pop-up health fair because people are opening up their facilities, and I need to at least a 90% vaccination rate. I'm just so sorry.
Yeah.
That's just my rules to live by. That's what I do. And so now I have some senior communities where we're going to be talking about bringing those disparities, diabetes, blood pressure, cancer. We're going to bring some experts just to give them some kind of resources. But I'm like you. I have to have a 90% approval per the building administrator before I go in and say hello, even if we sit outside.
And the good thing about what I do is there is a naturally in every venue, no matter how small, there is a barrier between where the band is and the audience. Okay. And, there's a barrier between us and the dance floor, and it's usually several feet, so thank goodness, but not always. And I mean, of course, this summer, mostly everything is outdoors.
Yes.
Again, we're up on a stage, and the diseased ones are down below, so that. And
the thing is, we can't be sure anywhere anyway. And I know, even the vaccine, it's not 100%.
Right. The break.
So you still got to protect yourself. So Phyllis, let me ask you this. You have participated in trials as well.
Yep, I have. I'm actually participating in a virtual one right now.
All right. Tell us about it. What's going
on? So it's related to diabetes and the effect of exercise on diabetes. I guess what would you like to know?
Well, I guess I just want to know, you're working for this phenomenal company and then you're participating as well.
Yes.
So how can you share more about the importance of participation?
So I've always been, for probably since I was 13, my own diabetes advocate, and I've always wanted to do more for my community, regardless type 1, type 2, whatever, regardless of the type of diabetes, just really speaking out for people who aren't able to, or, escalate things to local government. But I always felt that need to do more. And when I learned about, and I've always wanted to be involved in a clinical trial, but learning how to find them and how to be enrolled and how to connect can be a struggle depending on where in the United States you are.
Yeah.
But I really felt like it was my ultimate form of advocacy. I can't complain if there's no new treatment options or there's no new research if I'm not doing something about it. So really, at the super long story short, is my ultimate form of advocacy.
Right, absolutely. So let's do this. We're going to share another video from Aware for All, and it's just going to share with the community what you should anticipate. This virtual tour, when I saw it, I was like, wow, it's just like being there almost. And you have a platform, you link, everything is clickable and linkable for more information on the vendors and sponsors. So this is really unique. So everyone stay tuned. We have another community message from CISCRP, Aware for All.
Have you ever taken an allergy medication or a pain reliever? If so, you can thank clinical research participants. Around the world, people are living longer and healthier lives because of the selfless individuals who take part in clinical research trials. These trials help find ways to prevent, treat, and even cure certain medical conditions. At CISCRP, we believe that study volunteers are important partners in the research process. That's why our motto is education before participation. You can find more information about the clinical research process in the Information Exhibit Center. Clinical research participants truly are medical heroes, without whom medical science cannot move forward. On behalf of all of us at CISCRP, thanks to the millions of people who give the gift of participation in clinical trials each year, and to the rest of us who admire them for doing so.
Wow. Can't get any more simpler than that.
Nope.
If we don't have participation, we lose funding, we lose the knowledge of even getting the best resources to our community. And one of the things that I am cheerleading for, first of all, let me say to Lynn, thank you for participating, cheerleading for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Because, I mean, some people, the thing that I'm encouraged about is that I tell people this show and what we do, and especially what I'm doing it for those that come behind me. I'm putting this information out to help someone else, to make it easier, be more informative and thorough. So thank you, Lynn, for participating, as well as to you, Phyllis. You're doing it too. You're still participating and working. So what is the process at CISCRP? How do you come up with the information to say we want to hit this region on these topics? Because we have 5 cities. We're knocking down one more next week. But how do we prepare for the other states that we're going to be addressing as well? How do you take the disparities? How do you make that happen?
Well, it really starts with doing some research, looking at state departments of health and which medical conditions are more prevalent. Also looking at clinical trial websites to see what clinical trials are ongoing, currently recruiting in those regions. So it's really kind of a twofold process that, we have our ideas, but it's really until we get into that research that we are able to better fine tune what we hope to include in each of our events.
So how do you get other states? I know there's also the opportunity now where other cities or states can be nominated to become on board, because we can't do all 50 states.
No. Well,
so how do we get nominated? What's that process like?
Yeah. So really with our regional approach this year, we would have loved to include every state in each region, but that's just not possible. There's just so many organizations in so many states. So we really just, looking again at that data of the number of research organizations, academic institutions, and then fine-tuning it from there. But as we go back into our in-person events in 2022, you can nominate a city on the CISCRP website. I don't remember if it's awareforall.org or CISCRP.org, but either of those places will lead you to the event information where you can nominate a city that we visit.
Absolutely. So I said it on the previous broadcast. Do you have a range roughly of men versus women participants? I want the men to show up because it's for them as well.
I feel like I don't have data, but I think traditionally more women than men show up. And I've also done other kinds of community engagement. And it's not unique to our events. I think just in general, women, yes, no offense to men, but I feel like women have a more innate nature to want to connect with other people.
Yeah.
So,
it's just a work. I've recently interviewed a president of a health organization, and they had to create something specifically in Chicago for men. I think it's called Project Brotherhood or something, because he said men, they have to have their doctor's office look a little different. So literally they have a barber shop, they have counseling. It's like they have actual doctors there, but they had to make it a little bit more towards men. Because, and I said, well, we got to do what we got to do. But we know that these participations and these trials are for everyone. Now, what we're doing now is, what is the minimum trial age that we could consider, or that you're considering? Because some people cannot participate in all trials. So is there an age range roughly?
To participate in our program or in a trial?
In a trial.
I think it varies. I believe that there's pediatric trials. So each clinical trial has its own set of criteria.
Sure.
And age ranges. So it really depends on the specific trial. But from what I've gathered, that there's something available for all age groups.
Absolutely. So what we're going to do is we're going to share, as I mentioned here, everyone go to awareforall.org. It takes place on July 22nd, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Minnesota, and Michigan. And let me tell you, you would want to go on the site, get registered, and then on the day of, you want to click, link, get the information, because the follow-up on those sponsors and vendors will be right there for you. And this is a ongoing process. So you'll get that information. If you don't join July 22nd, you can still go back, share it in your communities, your church groups. How many red and pink hats do we got out there? Got the red hats, got the pink hats, got the line dancers. Some of the senior community centers are now open again. You should be watching Senior Talk Media anyway.
Right.
So let's make that happen, and we'll get that done as well. So ladies, what is your 1 minute closing remark? You've been great. Thank you to our co-hosts, Phyllis Kaplan and Lynn Jordan. We'll let Miss Phyllis Kaplan go first. What is your 1 minute closing remark?
I guess I would just encourage anybody who, there's so much in the media about clinical trials, but unfortunately not a lot of information about what's involved. And again, the who, the why, the how. So I think, if you've been curious about participating in clinical research and want more information, then this is the event for you.
Absolutely. And Miss Lynn Jordan. Diva, what is your closing remark?
I think that people should, of course, watch the event just to get an insight as to actual participants, because you hear clinical trials, you hear the word, you see whatever, but you don't know. I mean, I didn't know, even though I have a friend that has a facility, I still was like, yeah, whatever, clinical trial. But being a part of it, once the remedy, the pharmaceutical, whatever it is that's being explored, once it hits the market, you're like, I did that. I'm a part of that. I don't know. I have this thing about being a part of the solution, and
I'll take that. I like that already. Yeah. Absolutely. So everyone, we want to thank you for making us a part of your day. This was a special excerpt of Senior Talk with Clara Hubbard. This was a 2-part series with our friends from CISCRP Aware for All, the Midwest Hitch live virtually on July 22nd, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Minnesota, and Michigan. And for more information, you can also visit seniortalkmedia.com. We're going to be promoting this, and this will be a replay on other broadcasts in your community. So everyone, as we always say, in complete darkness, we are all the same. It is only our knowledge and wisdom that separate us. Don't let your eyes deceive you. I've been your host, Claire Hubbard, also known as the granddaughter in the community, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Everyone, take care. Yay, we did it!
Thank you.